Good morning, dear friends, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, located on the ancestral lands of the Settlecot people. My name is Elise Parisi, and I'm so happy to be your worship associate this morning. I'll be joined by June Cerveny, our service leader, musicians Peter Winkler and Dee Dee Cook, and our choir, the Unicorn Singers, under the direction of our trusted and dear Dan Weymouth. Deb Little is our Director of Religious Education. Judd Karmasik and Greta Johnson-Sally will join us in this morning to recognize and welcome our new members. Whether you're here in our sanctuary or attending online, we are one congregation worshiping together. So let's say hi, everybody wave to each other, and the camera's up here, certainly on my left, it's to your left too. A special welcome to those of you who are here who are visiting for the first time. We're so glad you're here, and we look forward to getting to know you. If you're comfortable doing so, we'd love you to raise your hands so we can see you, and we'll be personally able to greet you later. I think you've been here before, many, many times. That's cool. Everybody, please join us afterwards for the service for coffee, conversation, and cake in celebration of our new members. For those who are online, if you sign off after the service and return to our website, you'll find the link for joining our small group chats. Whether here or online, you'll find friendly folks who can answer any questions that you may have. Please make sure that you silence your phones, not like when I was in theater last night and somebody's phone went off, so that many of us can worship together. Let us enter the sacred space of worship with the sounding of the morning bell. May the sweet vibrations call us into sacred time of this present moment. So as Massimo comes forward to light our chalice, the symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith, let us all contemplate these words by Linda Barnes. Suspended between all that was and all that might be, we struggle to find this very moment, to live this very moment. Let us sit together for a moment and savor this moment. Let us relish this between time, where past meets future. Let us harbor a faith that reminds us that right now, right here, is enough.
Our opening words this morning are a story by the Reverend Kathleen McTagg. The woman who works behind the counter always looks glad to be there, doing what she's doing, and she often knows her customers by name. Last week, there were at least a half dozen people waiting in line to be served, but she still lingered with an old man at the counter who already had his soup and bread in a paper bag. She asked after his health, and then she asked about his wife. She commiserated with him about their illnesses. When she said goodbye, she touched his hand lightly, smiled into his face, and told him that she'd look for him tomorrow. Watching her at work, it becomes easy to believe that some small corner of the world's fabric is being patiently, lovingly stitched back together, and that something more gets carried out the door besides a bag of bread and a cup of soup. At this time, I would like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing hymn number 1040 in the Teal hymnal, which is Hush. As we sing, I would ask all the new members that we are recognizing this morning to rise one by one and come forward to the front of the sanctuary, to this area here in front of the pulpit, facing the congregation. Please bring your order of service along with you. Greta Johnson-Sally and Judd Kamersak, co-chairs of the membership committee, joyfully welcome our new members to fellowship.
This morning, we are recognizing and welcoming in our fellowship new members who have joined us in 2023 and 2024. In 2023, we welcome Rose Melliker-Hammock, Cecilia Brock, Gina Talento, Peter DeSalvo, Marianne Russo, Linda Hassenmeyer, and in 2024, Clinton Hubbard, Tina Good, Joel Kateems, Jill Stroudenberg, Janet Kaziz, Garrison, Golden Bernard Glenn, Diane Timon, Maria Colavalonis, Dan Fiore, and Sarah Fiore. Today we recognize these new members and welcome them in our congregation. They have signed our membership book and committed themselves to being present here with us as we will be with them. We welcome you with these words of the Reverend Gretchen Haley. There is nothing you need to bring with you to be welcome here. No right beliefs or proofs of citizenship, no eternal optimism or clarity of conviction, no boundless courage or endless expertise. You do not need to know what brought you here or how to solve the problem you are turning over and over in your mind. Your bills do not have to be paid. Your children may have been up half the night. Your hearing aid might not be working, and your knees may be creaking. You do not need to be already perfect or even halfway to belong in the circle where grace meets us and where we are, but does not leave us as it found us. Yet it is somehow more than all, where life still pulses and rages and heals and transforms, creating us and this day anew once again.
Will the new members join us in affirming their decision with the words in your order of service? Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. We bring to this sanctuary of welcome, comfort and challenge, our talent and enthusiasm, our growing edges, our convictions and our doubts. We ask that you see us, hear us, come to know us, and include us in the work and play of the fellowship. We ask to join you as purposeful companions on life's journey. And will the congregation join in welcoming these new members? We are honored that you have chosen to become a part of this faith community. Wherever you find yourself on your path to wholeness and joy, we welcome you, body, mind, heart, and spirit. We welcome you to this community of mutual care and earth stewardship. We value your gifts, your participation, your ideas, your feelings, your needs. We will strive to be companions worthy of your trust. Welcome to membership. Together, we say, as members and friends of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook, we join together to challenge and to nurture one another in our efforts to speak honestly, to act with compassion, to love without prejudice, to seek clarity in our common work, to respond to the call of justice with courage, and to live our personal beliefs and communal agreements with mutuality and integrity. We support this congregation as we are able with time, talent, and treasure, that together we might become a more effective instrument of service to a world in need and the community which receives all that life offers, courageously, with gratitude, resilience, and hope. We have for each of you the gift of a rose and a book and a special Unitarian Universalist ornament made by Linda Michael. And our warmest wishes of welcome.
As our members receive their gifts and return to their seats, let us remain seated and sing hymn number 1010 in the teal hymnal, We Give Thanks. And we'll continue singing until everybody has returned to their seat.
It's very tempting to just stay down there with the kids. Hi, I'm Deb Little. I'm the DRE here. This morning, we are thinking about presents, but not the kind that come in boxes with wrapping paper. Although presents can actually be a present. Sometimes all we really need is for someone to be there for us. Not to fix something, my tendency. Not to demonstrate our emotions, not to tell us how we might be feeling, and not to touch us necessarily. We just need their presence, just being there quietly next to us. So today's Time for All Ages, called The Rabbit Listened, offers this lesson. It's one of my favorite stories, actually. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something amazing. Taylor was so proud. Look how tall it is. Then, out of nowhere, a big gust of wind came, whoosh, and things came crashing down. Taylor sank to the floor with a sad, mad face. The chicken was the first to notice. Cluck, 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 cluck. What a shame. I'm so sorry. This happened. Let's talk about it. Cluck, cluck. But Taylor did not feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Grrr, how horrible! I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. Grrr. Taylor didn't feel like shouting, so the bear left. The elephant knew what to do. Trumpeta! I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant also left. One by one they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, gulp, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo, just what a mess. Let's throw it all away. And the snake, shh, let's go knock down someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually they all left until Taylor was alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Together they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered. The rabbit listened as Taylor laughed and began to throw everything away, to ruin things for somebody else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." Sometimes just being there says more than words. Amen. So this is how I get applause. I have to cluck like a chicken. All right, let me invite you all to turn to the back of either hymnal to find the Reeves Children's Benediction, so we sing the kids out. And where are my K-4 teachers? Ah, here they are. Okay, Susan and Melissa, and the K-4 kids can go back. And then junior high is me and Dan. And so the 5th through 8th graders can go back to the yellow room. And yeah, see you all soon.
Let us enter into some moments of meditation. I will offer for your reflection a prose poem to send us into silence, and Peter will bring us back out of silence with hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. If you don't know it by heart, you may open your hymn books now. So let us begin. Take this moment to center yourself. Receive the gift of your breath, breathing in and breathing out. This poem is by Brad Aaron Modlin, and it touches on learning to be present for your life. It is called What You Missed That Day You Were Absent from 4th Grade. Mrs. Nelson explained how to stand still and listen to the wind, how to find meaning in pumping gas, how peeling potatoes can be a form of prayer. She took questions on how not to feel lost in the dark, and after lunch, she distributed worksheets that covered ways to remember your grandfather's voice. Then the class discussed falling asleep without feeling that you had forgotten to do something else, something important, and how to believe that the house that you woke up in was your house. This prompted Mrs. Nelson to draw a chalkboard diagram detailing how to chant the Psalms during breaks and how not to squirm for sound when your own thoughts are all you hear. Also, that you are enough. The English lesson was that I am is a complete sentence. And just before the afternoon bell, she made the math equation look easy. The one that proves that hundreds of questions and feeling cold and all the nights spent looking for whatever it was you lost and one person add up to something.
At each service, it is our spiritual practice to take a collection which we share with a local organization working for social justice. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of December is Long Island Jobs with Justice, an organization that focuses on both advocacy and support. They produce research supporting campaigns to raise standards for workers, as well as research that informs public discourse on workers' rights and an economy that works for everybody. They support worker organizing and fight for fair wages. Please give generously in support of the fellowship and this worthwhile organization. You may make your gifts on the plate or online. For those online, the link to donate is in the chat box. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. We take this moment to acknowledge these candles which we see before us. May their light carry our shared joys and sorrows, reminding us that we are connected here for each other in this community, and we hold each other in love and support. As we move through this fellowship year, we will have many occasions to talk about how we, who are Unitarian Universalists, put into practice the value of centering love in the ways in which we are with each other. In September, we talked about invitation. Last month, we talked about repair. Today, we will think a little bit about what it means to be truly present, both to ourselves and to each other. I spent my summer this year in Vermont, near where my daughter lives. The summer was delightful, and also, as the days slipped one into another, a lesson in being present. I was living in a place very much more open to the presence of the natural world, and there's a certain magic about that. I gradually became more and more attentive to the shapes and the colors of the lily pads in the pond that I swam in, the fall of light on the trees in the late afternoon, and the distinctive sounds of each bird in the early morning wake-up chorus. It was a gift to experience the preciousness of being alive in each of these present moments. Gratitude and appreciation made it so much richer. Life in the country was a lesson in being present in other ways, too. I was not only enjoying this present for myself, but I was seeing a community that knew very well how to be present for each other. In this rural area, people are routinely present for each other. They show up. Is there a new baby? You need a meal train? It's going to happen. You need wood for heating and you need it split and stacked? There's a mutual help group to do that. Do you need somebody to care for your dog, cat, cow, or chickens while you're away? A friend will step up and you will do the same for them. This practice of being present is basic to spiritual life. For Unitarian Universalists and for everyone else, it's the way we live out and make tangible our love in the world and in our community. It would be great if we could live more of our life in the present moment. But most of us know only too well how easy it is to be unmindful. We get in our car and we drive someplace familiar, maybe it's here, and we pull in to park and we realize that we have no memory at all of this drive. It was automatic pilot all the way. Either we are not present at all, or probably more likely, we were lost in regrets or memories of the past, or filled with worries or plans about the future. In any case, we are missing the gift of the present. Mindful presence is not, in fact, easy. It is an intentional practice, but one worth well cultivating through meditation. The more we are willing to practice, to sit with our breath, the more it becomes available to us. And although being present to the moment opens us to living more often in beauty and in awe, it also opens us to being really present with some other feelings. When we have experienced loss, failure, or pain, we know that those moments are also real and demand that we attend to them attentively. To be fully present is to be fully and completely human. Jack Kornfield, the Buddhist teacher and author, reminds us that mindfulness is an innate human capacity to deliberately pay full attention to where we are, to our actual experience and to learn from it. And there is real magic in that presence. When we cultivate this practice in ourselves, when we are truly and fully here in our own life, then we open up the possibility of being truly here for others as well. The Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh tells us that there are 4 mantras for being truly present with another person. Now, a mantra is simply a phrase, often one that empowers a person with resolution or aspiration for how to live. And these 4 mantras have been a source of instruction and inspiration for me. The first mantra is, "Darling, I am here for you." In order to be present, we must be present in ourselves. We need to cultivate being present. And when we are not multitasking, making dinner, checking our phone, watching the news, all at the same time. When we are present for ourselves, we are ready to be present with another person. Being there for another is to give undivided attention and an open heart. When we can ask, "How are you?" and "How was your day?" because we want not the superficial answer of, "It was fine," but the actual truth about someone else's life. We are ready to listen with intention. We are ready to share our lives with another. We are really, really completely there. The most precious gift that we can give another person is to see them and be there with them. Last Sunday, Reverend Borton told us a story about how a young girl simply greeted a nursing home resident with love and attention, and how that brought joy and delight to someone who was seemingly closed and unresponsive. That girl did not bring a newspaper or a snack or any tangible gift at all. What she brought was the gift of seeing the person and being truly present for them. Oh, my darling, I am here for you. The second mantra of true presence is, "Darling, I know you are there, and I am very happy." This mantra can help us in our own experience of being present to appreciate beauty and awe that we feel in the natural world, in the sight of the moon at night, in a flower, in the earth beneath our feet as we walk. But also, it reminds us to acknowledge and appreciate one another and rejoice in the presence of the others in our lives. It celebrates the sacredness of our relationships. You are there. It makes me happy. The third mantra is, "Darling, I know you suffer. That is why I am here for you." When we are mindful, we notice the sufferings of those that we are in relationship with. If a person suffers alone and no one notices or cares, loneliness adds so much more to the suffering. So we can show up for the memorial service, for the Shiva call, even if we don't know somebody very well. Presence alone can relieve a lot of suffering. Like the little rabbit in the story, showing up and being there when it matters makes all the difference. No matter how old or how young we are, we can do this for each other. And from that presence flows whatever material help we are able to offer. It is really a true gift to be able to offer a meal, a ride, a card, a visit. Never underestimate the impact that simple kindness can make. The support we offer each other can sustain a congregation in difficult times, offering strength to move forward. As Unitarian Universalists, it is one of the ways that we center love in our communal life. I remember this instance from my early days in a UU congregation. I have always been a single parent, so when my daughter was just shy of 1 year old, we were at Sunday service on Mother's Day. An older gentleman in our fellowship handed me, after service, a small bouquet of lily of the valley picked from his garden that morning, the stems wrapped in tinfoil. I realized, he said, you had no one who would give you a Mother's Day gift. He had seen my reality, and 35 years later, I remember that sustaining kindness. The fourth mantra of true presence is perhaps one of the most difficult. Darling, I am suffering. Please help. We have certainly been taught in our individualistic society to carry on without asking for help, to hide our truth as though it were something shameful. And yet, we need help when our own strength is depleted, and we need it when we can't see the way forward. We need it in times of physical distress and in times of spiritual or emotional wilderness when we are in that narrow place. It can be a challenge to admit need, but it is this very thing that allows us to co-create a community with mutual care. We may especially need this mantra when we are suffering because another has hurt us. Thich Nhat Hanh explains, even as we are tempted to withdraw or strike back, we can make a different choice. Instead of retreat, we can choose to admit our hurt and our suffering and ask to talk about what has happened and how we might move together toward healing. This choice requires a certain bravery because really the outcome is not guaranteed in any way. For those who dare, however, the result might well be a deeper relationship. Keeping these mantras in mind, we have keys to being present, caring for each other, creating community. This morning we welcomed new members. We pledged to be in community with them for mutual support, to be present for them. May these mantras guide us in building that community. We are heading right now into the season of celebrating Christmas, solstice, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. There's a lot going on. It is a great time of year for us to focus on being more mindful. It is a time when we are especially bombarded with busyness and excess, and while we desperately long for a meaningful observation that emphasizes people, spirituality, and tradition. The Reverend Sandra Fees has noted that when asked what they want at this time of year, over 80% of Americans say that they fantasize about simple gifts, natural decorations, a fire, traditional food, leisurely schedules, music, time spent out of doors, and family activities. It is not too late to bring the miracle of mindfulness to this season. We can deepen our awareness of our own thoughts and actions. We can model mindfulness for our children and our grandchildren, and work to create traditions that reflect our values. We can take time to share our true presence with others. We can notice what we cherish about the season and what stuff is depleting our spirit. We can pay attention to what matters most to us and not to what is less important. What we learn can help us to shape our lives in ways that bring deeper significance now and throughout the coming year. We can spend time on activities that nourish us, the people who nurture us, and the people who need our nurturing. We can become present to ourselves, to the human condition, and to the world. And we can say to each other over and over again, "Darling, I am here for you." May it be so in our life. Amen. This season invites us to think about Christmastide and we think especially of the ways in which divine love is made present in the world. I invite us now, in the consciousness of that story, to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our final hymn, which is number 226 in the gray hymnal, People Look East. And when we finish, please be seated. Dear friends, let these good words by Elena Westbrook resonate in our hearts as we go out from this place. Let every moment be a prayer. With every sip of tea, let your lips move in thanksgiving. Be fully present to every stroke of the hairbrush, every cup of milk you pour for the children. Be present without judgment or regret, without plans or expectations or even dreams, and every moment becomes a prayer. I invite you who are here in the sanctuary to join me in waving and saying goodbye to the folks who are online. Goodbye.